Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, today on the Ryan Awesome Show, I'll be talking about Impact Wrestling Hardcore Justice 2021. Now, with this show, man, this show felt like a waste of time. A waste of time, dude. Like, it's like with the pay per view, it felt like the pay per view never should have happened. That it never should have happened. It came out of nowhere, and it's plus it's close to Rebellion. Rebellion is the most important pay per view, but they added this pay per view, and with this, it's like the fact that they added like last minute matches, you know, like matches that didn't even belong on the show. You could have just with this pay per view, you could have just made it as the, you know, get rid of the pay per view, get rid of it, and it just could have just had this on Impact, some of it on Impact. But yeah, and then and then they put it on the same night as WrestleMania. They put it on the same night as WrestleMania, night one. You know, even though it wasn't on the same time, it wasn't on the same time as WrestleMania. Nobody's gonna go out and watch Impact Wrestling Hardcore Justice before WrestleMania. Everybody is focused on WrestleMania, and nobody ain't gonna want to watch 2 hours of wrestling and then watch another 3 hours of wrestling. And so yeah, that's why this pay per view. That's why it was pointless and that it was a waste of time. But we did have some good matches on the show. You know, the main event was the best match on the show. And the opening match was a great match. But all these other matches, man, unimportant, dude. Unimportant and a waste of time, goofy and cheesy. And so yeah. So yeah, so this is the Impact Wrestling Hardcore Justice 2021 review on the Ryan Awesome Show. And if you haven't done this already, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you'll be the first ones to know when my next video will come out, because I am here each and every single week. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. And so, yeah, we start off the show with a three-way tag team match. And so, yeah, it was Ace Austin, the X Division champion, and Madman Fulton versus TJP and Fallah Bahh. So that was TJP mystery partner, and versus Josh Alexander, and his mystery partner was a returning Petey Williams, the innovator of the Canadian Destroyer, the creator of the Canadian Destroyer. And so yeah, we had Fallah. He took out Alexander with a shoulder tackle at the start of the match. And so yeah, we had Fallah Bahh. You know, Alexander, he had Fallah Bahh in the ankle lock, and Fallah Bahh, he reversed it. And so yeah, we had Williams and TJP. They were going back and forth at one point, and we had a corner splash to Fallah Bahh from Fulton. And so yeah, we had an insecurity kick to Fallah Bahh from Austin, and we had a crossbody to Fallah's back from Fulton. And then we had a flatliner to Austin from Williams. And so we had a springboard code breaker. We had a springboard code breaker to Ace Austin from Williams, and follow up by a German suplex to Austin from Alexander. And so yeah, we had a tilt-a-whirl power slam to Alexander from Madman Fulton. And then we had a helicopter leg drop to Alexander from Ace Austin. So that was a beautiful move from Austin. And then we had a springboard crossbody to Austin from TJP. And we had a crossbody to Fulton. And then we had a we had TJP. First off, we had a blind tag from Alexander. So in a three-way match, you could tag anybody you want. And so Josh Alexander, who was on the opposite team, he had made a blind tag to TJP, but TJP, you know, yeah, he didn't know about it, I guess, but he got touched. So you would think that he'll know about it, but he didn't know about it. So TJP went to the top rope, hit a Mamba Splash, hit the Mamba Splash on Austin. And so yeah, TJP tried to go for the cover, but Alexander had threw TJP out of the ring, so he stole the win from, not stole the win, he stole the pin from TJP. And so yeah, right after that, we had a sharpshooter. So Yeah, we had Josh Alexander. He had locked in a sharpshooter on one of these guys. I think it was Austin. And yeah, he lost. He locked it in on Austin, I think. No, not Alexander. Williams. He had locked in a sharpshooter, and then Alexander. He had locked in the ankle lock. I think it was on TJP. And so yeah, Fallah Bahh. He was trying to break up the submission move. No, TJP. No, TJP. He had a submission move locked on Austin. So it was a three. It was a three-way submission. So Alexander he had the ankle lock. Uh, Petey Williams had the sharpshooter, and TJP he had like an octopus stretch. And so Fallah Bahh he tried to stop Alexander from breaking up TJP submission move. And so yeah, Fallah Bahh he ended up pushing Josh Alexander into the hole to everybody. So that broke up the submission move. And so yeah, we had a double choke slam from Fulton to Alexander and Williams, while Fulton, while TJP was on Fulton's back. So he hit a choke slam while TJP was on his back. So yeah, that was a nice spot. And so yeah, we had a series of running corner boots from TJP to Alexander and Austin. And so yeah, we had Petey Williams hit his finishing move, the Canadian Destroyer to TJP. And so yeah, and then Fallah Bahh, he had interrupted that. And so yeah, so Petey Williams he tried to hit the Canadian Destroyer on Fallah Bahh. I would have loved to see that, but Fallah Bahh is too big. And so yeah, Fallah Bahh he ended up reversing it. And so yeah, we had Fallah Bahh. We had Alexander he had locked in the ankle lock on Fallah Bahh. And so Fallah Bahh he taps out. So Josh Alexander and Petey Williams they win the match, and that was it, man. That was it. What exactly do they win? I don't know. Do they get a tag team championship opportunity? You would think they'll get a tag team championship opportunity, but they're not a tag team. But yeah, but what exactly do they win? What exactly do they win? Now they did mention the tag team titles on on commentary, and that FinJuice they have the titles, and they from New Japan Pro Wrestling carrying the Impact Wrestling tag team titles. So I'm guessing they'll get a tag team opportunity. So yeah, it was a great match to start off the show. But what exactly do they win? What do they win? And so yeah, that was it with that match. And so right after this match, we had a chairly legal match. So all chairs are legal. And so yeah, it was Shera versus Hernandez. And with this match, I did not know why this match happened on the show. I don't know why that happened on the show. I don't even know the storyline. Like I don't even know anything about the storyline. They haven't even brought it up on Impact. I think they brought it up on they pre-show. I don't watch pre-shows. I watch the main shows, but I think they had a few on a pre-show or something like that with I guess Raju and Shera. I guess I don't know, but Raju and Shera they separated though. Well, they were separated. So yeah, so we had Shera. He had Shera and Hernandez they shoulder tackled each other, and so they were still standing up after that. And so we had a flying shoulder tackle to Hernandez, and then Shera he had slammed Hernandez on chairs, and not on chairs but on a chair, and then Hernandez he had kicked out of that. And so we had Hernandez he hit Shera with a chair, and then Shera he kicks Hernandez. Hernandez he was sitting on a chair. He was sitting on a chair. I guess yeah he was gloating and everything, and so Shera had came and just kicked him. He literally kicked him out of the chair. And so yeah, we had Hernandez. He slammed Shera on, on two chairs, sitting chairs. And so yeah, Hernandez he had took control of the match at that point, and we had a spine buster to Hernandez. Hernandez kicked out, and then Hernandez he had sent Shera into the ring post. And so yeah, and then at one point, yeah, one of these guys they had brought chairs into the ring. They had stacked chairs in the ring. They put it in a pile in the ring, and so yeah, we had a superplex to Hernandez on a pile of chairs. So Shera had superplex Hernandez on those piles of chairs that was in the ring. And so yeah, so Hernandez he was down and he had got up right after that. So he no-sold the chairs. He no-sold the superplex on the chairs. And so yeah, and then right after that he hit, he hit Shera with the chair. He threw him into the chair that was in the corner of the ring. And so yeah, out of nowhere we had Rohit Raju. He hit Hernandez in the head with the chair. And so yeah, Raju he was telling Shera to pin him. Like, go ahead and pin him. I did the work for you. Go ahead and pin him. And so Shera he had pinned Hernandez for the win. So Shera wins the match. So Raju and Shera they reunite. I don't know what was the point of breaking them up. If you only to bring them back together. I don't know what was the point of breaking them up only to bring them back together. It ain't made no sense. And so yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, right after this we had the Swingers Palace. We had the Swingers Palace, and it was Johnny Swinger, of course, Johnny Bravo, the Swingerellas, and we had James Storm and Chris Sabin.
Can you believe the freaking office telling us that we need to take the night off?
I mean, everyone knows I love this place. But it should be us on Tiny's team, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. After what Violent by Design did to us, come on, it should be us,
No,
man.
they're gonna pay.
Seriously.
If you're gonna take the night off, this is the place to do it. You brought your draw, right, Daddy?
Hey, boys.
Triple
Serving
XL
this table?
interrupts.
I'm gonna have to say no.
Can't sit here.
Hey, we're talking to you. We went on this action as well.
You want some action? How about we have ourselves a little match?
Match perfect.
Sounds great.
We'll head to the ring right now.
Jackpot! No, I can't walk the ring. You know how many of these I've had? I'm talking about a drinking game match.
What the hell is that?
The drinking game match.
I mean, come on, man. You're gonna have some brain cells in there. It's easy. First you drink, like this. And then you have a match. I like the sound of that. Swingerellas! Scoot over. That's seat for you, and seat for you, all right? Be careful. It's warm. All right. Whoa, what's going on here?
Matt Cardona.
Yeah, this is the Midnight Mayor's office. We'll take bets on anything, but we don't accept action dolls for bets. We only take kiss ash here at Swingers Palace, Daddy.
Swing, man, you're just upset because you've been in the business for 150 years and you don't have one action figure of yourself.
Listen, you
Oh.
ham and egger, I'll send you packing back to Junior, Daddy.
Junior. Tommy Dreamer.
Tommy, this isn't Wrestle House. Isn't like that anymore.
You're right, Larry D, you criminal, but I'm still the executive in charge of wrestling.
ECW.
Swinger, Cardona, get ready, because you got a match tonight.
Well, what kind of match?
A crate American bash.
What is that?
And that was it. So they made a match with Matt Cardona and Swinger, Johnny Swinger. I was not a fan of this match. But yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, right after this we had another match that didn't belong on the show. It was Doc Gallows with Karl Anderson versus Black Taurus with Crazy Steve in his corner. And so Rosemary, she did come out, but she had went straight to the back right after that because she had to get ready for a match later on that night. And so yeah, with this match you could have just put it on Impact, man. Most of these matches on this show did not needed to be on the show. And so yeah, Taurus, he used his speed against Gallows. And so yeah, right after that, Gallows, he had caught him. And then, he took control of the match. And we had a clothesline to Taurus. We had a pump kick to Taurus. And then Taurus, he was fighting back at one point with an enziguri kick. And so, yeah, so Taurus, during this match, he was trying to fight back the entire time, but it was not working. And so, yeah, we had an uppercut to Taurus. And so Taurus, he took control for a little bit. And so Anderson, no, he didn't. So Gallows, he was still working on Taurus. And so we had a cheap shot from Anderson outside the ring behind the referee back. So the referee did not see it. And so, yeah, Gallows, he had threw Taurus into the guardrail. He threw him into the guardrail. And so Taurus, he had went right over the guardrail. And so we had a big boot to Taurus. And we had, Taurus, he was fighting back again, but it still wasn't working. And then, yeah. And then he started to take control again. He had a 6-1 out on Gallows, and he followed that up with a missile drop kick. And then Gallows had kicked out of that. And so, while Taurus, he was taking control of the match, we had Anderson, he distracted Taurus. And so Crazy Steve had saw it, and so Crazy Steve had took out Anderson. And so to end the match, we had a sit-out spine buster to Taurus to win the match. So Doc Gallows wins the match, and that was it. Just like what I said before, this match did not need to be on the show. And so yeah, right after that, man, we had Violent by Design, Eric Young, Rhino, Diener, and Joe Doering. They talk about, they're talking about their match, in the main event, that hardcore war match.
Hardcore justice. And you're looking at one half of the hardcore war. Tommy Dreamer, you got a history of violence. Eddie Edwards, Rich Swann, Willie Mack. You're pillars of Impact Wrestling. And when we crash those pillars to the ground and we're standing on the rubble, you can't say that we didn't tell you. Violent by design. You're all sick. You're filled with the disease. And the most important thing right now is ridding this world of that disease. We see the truth. Our eyes are wide open, and you men are standing right in your way. What you're looking at is 100% absolute belief in violence. We believe in it. We worship it. We use it. We live it every day. Can you tell yourself the same thing? I don't think you can. This is the last time I'm going to warn you. This is hardcore justice. It doesn't matter if you're Tommy Dreamer. This show is yours. You're the heartbeat of Impact Wrestling, Eddie Edwards. You're one of the greatest athletes to ever step through the ropes in Willie Mack, or you're the Impact World Champion. This world does not belong to you. It belongs to us.
And that was it. Violent by Design saying that this world belongs to us and not them. And so yeah, that was it with that. And so right after this, we had the mystery crate match. And so yeah, this is what they called the match, the mystery crate match. And it was Johnny Swinger versus Matt Cardona. This match was a joke. It was a joke. This match was not good. And so yeah, we had Swinger. To start off the match, it was Swinger. He was lying to the referee that Cardona was cheating and everything, saying that Cardona had a closed fist and that Cardona had, grabbed his tights and everything, and even though he didn't do it. And so yeah, Cardona, he had went right after the Swinger. And so right behind the referee back, yeah, Johnny Swinger, he had gave Cardona a low blow. So, right behind the referee back, so the referee didn't see it. And then the referee had asked Swinger, did you low blow him? And then Swinger, he was like, no, I didn't low blow him. And so, yeah, Swinger, he had opened up the first crate. And so yeah, they had a picture. It was a picture of Scott Hall, the recently inducted Hall of Famer, Scott Hall. It was a picture of him. And so he put the picture of Scott Hall in his tights. And so he started to use it. And then he put it away. And so, yeah, so Swinger, he had took control of the match for that during that point. And so, yeah, Swinger, he had opened up the second crate. And so, yeah, while he was opening it up, he started screaming. He had screamed in pain. And so, like, it was like, why is he screaming in pain? And so he had pulled his hand out of the crate. His hand had got caught in a mouse trap. So his hand had got caught in a mouse trap. And so yeah, Cardona, he had took advantage of that. And so he hit him with a missile drop kick. Cardona did. And so Cardona, he had opened up the third mystery crate, and then he closed it. So he opened it up. He looked at it. He looked inside of it, and he smiled, and he had closed the crate. And so yeah, Swinger had opened up the fourth crate, and then it was brass knuckles. So he had brass knuckles on. So he put the brass knuckles on, and it didn't matter because he lost. Yeah, got caught with a radio silence. Matt Cardona's finishing move, the radio silence to Swinger to win the match. So Matt Cardona wins the match. And right after the match, he was walking away. He had that crate that he opened and closed. He had walked away with that crate. And so when I was watching, I was like, what was in the crate? And so, yeah, we ended up finding out later that night. And so that was it with the match. Waste of time. Absolutely waste of time. And so, yeah, right after this, we had the Swingers Palace. it was Triple XL and James Storm. They were drinking. They were drinking, so they were drunk, and that was it. So yeah, right after that, after the Singles Palace, we had the draw. We had the draw. Sami Callihan, he had came out to the ring to his music. I love Sami Callihan's theme music. I love it. And so yeah, so Callihan, he had came out, got the mic, grabbed the microphone, and he opened. You know, he had issued an open challenge. So he challenged anyone in the Impact locker room to come out and fight him. And so we had somebody that came out, and it was Sam Beale. So this is Trey Miguel's protege. So yeah, came out and fought Sami Callihan. And so yeah, this was a beatdown. This is a beatdown. Sami Callihan beat the hell out of this guy. And so yeah, so Callihan he took out Beale, and he gave him a pump kick. And then we had Sami. He was targeting, Beale's fingers, bending the fingers and then biting the fingers. And so we had a exploder suplex to Beale on the floor. So that was a nasty spot. And so yeah, Beale he had came back into the ring. He did get a little bit of offense. He had rolled up Sami Callihan, I think like twice, and then Sami Callihan had kicked out of those roll-ups. And so yeah, he had caught Beale with a clothesline. And then to end the match, we had Sami Callihan hit his finishing move, that package power driver to Beale to win the match. So Sami Callihan, he wins the match. And that was it. Absolute beatdown. And so yeah, right after this match, we had the hardcore blindfold match, which was another cheesy match. This match was goofy. It was a goofy match. And so yeah, it was the hardcore blindfold match. And it was the most professional wrestler, Brian Myers versus Jake something. And so yeah, so both of these guys, they were blindfolded and everything. And so they were both trying to find each other. And, Myers, at one point, he had hit Jake with a trash can lid outside the ring. And then with a metal bar, he had him with a metal bar. And then we had a flatliner to Jake. And then Myers, he went for the cover, but he had pinned Jake, the wrong way. He had pinned him the wrong way. You got to pin him on his back, but he wasn't on his back. And so yeah, so we had a power bomb to Myers, and then Myers had kicked out of that. And so we had a short arm clothesline. So we had a series of short arm clotheslines to Myers. And so Myers, he had cheated. He had cheated during this match by taking off the blindfold. The referee didn't see it, so he didn't get disqualified. So Myers, he had took off the blindfold behind the referee's back. And and then Myers, he had took control of it. He took advantage of it. And so Matt Cardona had came out to his theme music. And so yeah, so Brian Myers, he had heard the theme music, and he started walking towards the other side of the ring. And so Cardona, he was playing around with Brian Myers, trying to get him to attack him and everything, but he can't see him because he's blindfolded. And so yeah, Cardona, he had slid in that crate. So Cardona, he had walked out with the crate. So he had slid in that crate through Brian Myers' legs to Jake. And so Jake had hit Myers with the crate. Jake had hit Myers with the crate. And so the thing that was in the crate was the action figure. So it had action figures in the crate. And so yeah, he hit him with the crate, and the action figures went flying out of the box. And so yeah, Jake, he had his finishing move, the black hole slam to Myers to win the match. So Jake something wins the match, and that was it. I thought they were going to give the win to Brian Myers because he have a match with Cardona, and you want Brian Myers to look strong, but he did not look strong. He did not look strong at all. But yeah, this match was terrible, man. It was bad. It was not good. And so yeah, this match did not need to be on a pre-show. I mean, not on the pre-show. This match did not need to be on a show, man. And I said that in my last Impact review. I said it on my Impact Wrestling review that like why does this match need to be a hardcore match when Jake, like when Myers only attacked Jake once, and they're not even in a feud. They're not even in a feud. So why does it need to be a hardcore match instead of a regular match? And so yeah, if it was just a regular match, I would have been fine with it. But yeah. So yeah, right after that, we had Tommy Dreamer. Eddie Edwards, Willie Mack, and Rich Swann, the Unified Impact Wrestling World Champion, and what they had to say about Violent by Design. you know, in their hardcore war match.
Violent by design. These are my friends. These are my real friends. These are men that I know have my back. These are guys I would live and die with. I'm going to war with them. Hardcore justice. My dream team. Team Dreamer. Rich, what's rolling through your head right now?
What you got, Red? What you got? You wanna know what's rolling through my head? You wanna know what's rolling through my head? Rebellion. That's supposed to be the biggest match of my life in the upcoming 2 weeks. But you know what? Let me tell you something. When my man Tommy D told me, Rich, we need friends. I need a friend. I need somebody to watch my back. I know that you are one of the people ready to go hard in the paint. Always. You are one of the people that are always willing to give that agility, ability, and aggressiveness. And it's to my man, Chocolate Thunder, Willie Mack, and next to Die Hard, Eddie Edwards. We will go into that damn ring and show you violence. You think this man's a sickness? You think he's the sickness of Impact? No, y'all the sickness because y'all are crazy. But you think your violence by your design is something that's gonna keep us down? Hell no! Because we got the heart, fire, and determination to stop any mother sucker that wanna step to us. So bring it.
I don't want to be you. You are fired up and pissed.
Woo! I'm ready. I am ready.
And that was it, man. We need to see more of Rich Swann like that, man. We need to see more of that Rich Swann, man. You're the world champion, man. Have a fiery promo, and this was a fiery promo from Rich Swann. And so yeah, man. So yeah, right after this we had the weapons match, and it was the #1 contenders. So whoever would have won this match would have been the #1 contenders for the knockouts match. And so yeah, this was a good match. So yeah, we had Rosemary versus Tenille Dashwood with Kaleb in her corner versus Jordynne Grace versus Alisha Edwards versus Havok versus Susan. Well, who we thought it was gonna be Susan, but Susan, she had came out to the ring to her entrance, and so Susan, she had got attacked by Su Yung. So Su Yung will be taking the place of Susan. It's really the same person. Susan and Su Yung are the same person, but so yeah, so Su Yung, she attacked Susan. So Su Yung is a part of the match now. And so yeah, we had Havok and Rosemary. They took each other out at one point, and you know, right after, you know, they were trying to align themselves with Su Yung ended up attacking Havok and Rosemary, and then Havok and Rosemary started to fight each other. And then we had Alisha. She used a staple gun on Dashwood. And so yeah, we had, you know, everybody was trying to gang up on Dashwood, and Kaleb had stepped in to protect her. And so everybody had took out Kaleb, and we had a sidewalk slam to Alisha from Grace on a trash can. So that was nice. And so yeah, we had Su Yung and Rosemary. They clotheslined Havok with a rope. So they had a rope and they was fighting over it. And so they saw Havok coming in, so they clotheslined, like literally clotheslined Havok with the rope. And so yeah, we had a spear to Su Yung from Rosemary, and we had Rosemary. She had a bag, and so the commentary team, they were saying, "What is this?" We all know what it is. It's thumbtacks. And so yeah, she poured the thumbtacks outside of the ring on the floor. And so yeah, she tried to put Alisha Edwards on it. And so Alisha Edwards ended up fighting out of it and ended up slamming, ended up falling on Rosemary on the thumbtacks. So she went through the thumbtacks too with Rosemary. And so yeah, we had Alisha. She had hit Rosemary with a kendo stick. And we had Su Yung. She had gave Alisha Edwards a mandible claw, and she took her out of the match. She just went straight into the back while she had the mandible claw locked on Alisha. And so we had Grace and Havok. They went back and forth at one point, which was a great sight. And so yeah, we had Nevaeh. So yeah, while Grace and Havok were going at it, we had Nevaeh. She had came out and she just threw powder. She threw powder into Havok's eyes. And so yeah, this is when Havok, she was going for a high flying move, and so that's when Nevaeh had came out and just threw that powder in her eyes. And so we had a Vader bomb to Havok from Grace, and so Grace had went for the cover, and then Kaleb he pulled Grace out of the ring and gave her a super kick. And so yeah, and then we had Dashwood. She had pinned Havok for the win. So Havok, So Dashwood, she had stole the pin from Grace, and so Dashwood had wins the match and is the #1 contenders for the Knockouts Championship. And I was like, man, finally. I was like, finally, she got a title opportunity. But I do not think she is not gonna beat Deonna Purrazzo. I don't think nobody is beating Deonna Purrazzo. So yeah, she's the Knockouts Women's Champion, #1 contenders. And they announced it that she'll be going up against Deonna Purrazzo on Rebellion. And so, yeah, we had right after that we had the Swingers Palace again, and Triple XL and Chris Sabin and James Storm, they were playing beer pong. And so, yeah, so they were all drinking and everything, playing beer pong, and then Chris Sabin and James Storm ended up taking out Triple XL. So they might have a match next week on Impact. So yeah, that was it with that. And right after that, we had the match, and it was for the Impact Knockouts Women's Championship, and it was the title. It was title versus career. Anything goes. So Jazz put her career on the line, and Deonna Purrazzo put her Impact Knockouts Championship on the line. And so, yeah, we had Jazz. She had to control of the match, and we had a slingshot into the bottom rope to Jazz. And so, yeah, we had Purrazzo. She targeted Jazz's arm for that arm bar that she does. And so we had a Purrazzo. We had a flatliner to Jazz, and Jazz had kicked out of that. And then Purrazzo, she had tied up Jazz on a rope, on a ring rope, the bottom ring rope. And then she gave a basement drop kick. And then, both were fighting outside the ring. And then Jazz had, threw Deonna Purrazzo into the ring post. And then we had Jazz had hit her jabs to Purrazzo. And then we had Jazz paying homage to the recently inducted Hall of Famer X-Pac with the X Factor to Purrazzo. And then Purrazzo had kicked out of the move. And we had a Russian leg sweep to Jazz, followed up by a Fujiwara armbar to Jazz. And then Jazz had grabbed the rope. And so Purrazzo, she tried to hit Jazz with the Knockouts title. She tried to hit her with the Knockouts title. But Jazz had ended up reversing it, and she hit a Samoan drop to Purrazzo. And one point we had Jazz. She had a chair, and she hit Deonna Purrazzo with a chair. That was a weak chair shot. And then we had Jazz that hit a DDT on a chair to Purrazzo, and Purrazzo had kicked out of it. And we had Deonna Purrazzo. She had 2 pump kicks to Jazz, followed up by an exploder suplex. And to end the match, we had Deonna Purrazzo hit a reverse power driver to Jazz to win the match. And so that was it. So Deonna Purrazzo wins and is still the Knockouts Women's Champion. And Jazz, her career is over. Jazz's career is over. So, this is a decent match. But it would have been better, man. It would have been better if you would have had fans, like some people in there, man. But they ain't had nobody. They ain't had nobody in there. They have piped in crowd noises for Impact Wrestling. But yeah, it would have been better, man, if you would have had some people in there, man. Some people are better than nobody. But yeah, so Jazz's career is over. And yeah, she'll have a ceremony, I guess, or a retirement speech on Thursday on Impact Wrestling, so that should be good. And yeah, I knew for a fact that Deonna Purrazzo was gonna win. And then again, I did thought they were gonna get the title to Jazz because most of the time when people put their careers on the line, they usually win the match. But yeah, she didn't win the match, and so I think they made the right move. They made the right move by keeping that title on Deonna Purrazzo because Deonna Purrazzo has been great as Impact Knockouts champion. She's beaten everybody, dude. And there's no reason to take that title off of her. I don't think nobody on that roster is taking that title off of her. Nobody is taking that title off of Deonna Purrazzo. What I would like to see, man? What I would like to see, man, is some of the women on Impact Wrestling show up on AEW Dynamite. Have Deonna Purrazzo show up on AEW Dynamite and get in Hikaru Shida's face and just invade AEW, man. I just want to see it, man. I just want to see the women. I just want to see most of the women on AEW, man. Like from Impact show up on AEW. I just want to see it, man. You got the working relationship with Impact Wrestling. Why not have the Impact Women's Division on AEW to spicing up that AEW Women's Division? So yeah, that was it with that. Good match. Would have been better if you would have had fans in there. But yeah, that was it with the match. So yeah, Jordynne Grace, she had came out. So yeah, Jazz, she was heartbroken, I guess. Yeah, she was heartbroken that her career had ended. And so Jazz had came out, not Jazz, Jordynne Grace had came out and embraced, started hugging Jazz. And so, and so yeah, that was it. And so yeah, so yeah, right after that was the camera. So the camera had showed in the back, and they showed Tommy Dreamer. He was mysteriously attacked by somebody, but we don't know who it was. And so everybody thinking it was Violent by Design. And so yeah, Tommy Dreamer got mysteriously attacked. Scott D'Amore, Rich Swann, Willie Mack, and Eddie Edwards, they checked on Dreamer, and then so the doctor has said that Tommy Dreamer, he's not gonna be able to compete tonight. He's not gonna wrestle tonight. And so yeah, that was it with that. And plus, man, Violent by Design, they already have like a advantage, like a one person advantage or something like that. And so yeah, which brings me to the main event. So the main event was the Hardcore War, and it was Violent by Design versus Team Dreamer. So the Hardcore War, I knew it was gonna be. It's kind of like the War Games. It's kind of like War Games, but with this match, they didn't even have two rings. They didn't have two rings. They ain't had no cage. They ain't had no shark cages. They just two people started at the same time, and then every member of the Violent by Design guys came out, and then one member from Team Dreamer came out. So yeah, so to start off the match, it was Eddie Edwards and Diener had came out. So Eddie Edwards, he attacked Diener from behind, and so they were fighting outside the ring. We had an overhead belly to belly suplex to Diener, and then he followed that up with a backpack stunner in the ring. And so the next entrant from Violent by Design came out Rhino. And so yeah, Diener and Rhino, they had double team Edwards. And so yeah, they double teamed him for a little bit. And so the next entrant came out Willie Mack. So Eddie Edwards, he got some help. And so Eddie Edwards, so Willie Mack, he had took out Rhino and Diener with chair shots. And so he had a kendo stick shot to Diener from Edwards. And so that next entrant from Violent by Design came out Joe Doering. So they in trouble now. They in trouble. So Doering, he had took out Edwards and Mack with a double clothesline. And so we had Diener, he had, so somebody had brought out a toaster. Somebody had brought out a toaster from under the ring. And so we had Diener, he had the toaster. And he just put Willie Mack's finger into the toaster, and he started bending the toaster back while Willie Mack's finger was in the toaster. Like he was bending back on it. And so I was like, man, what the hell did he get a toaster from? And so yeah. And so the next entrant from Team Dreamer came out Rich Swann, the unified world champion of Impact Wrestling. He came out with a table. And so yeah, Rich Swann, he had took out Violent by Design, and he had a low blow to Joe Doering, which is a smart move. If I'm in a fight with somebody twice my size or three times my size, I'm kicking them square in the nuts. I am kicking them in the nuts. And so that's what Rich Swann did. And so Rich Swann, he hit Diener and Rhino with a street sign. So he came out with a street sign too. He started hitting everybody with a street sign. And so the next entrant, we already knew who was coming out next, and it was Eric Young from Violent by Design, the leader of Violent by Design. And he had brought out a hockey stick. And so yeah, and he started hitting everybody with the hockey stick, and the hockey stick had broke. And so yeah, and so the final entrant from Team Dreamer, it was supposed to be Tommy Dreamer. But Tommy Dreamer, he got attacked earlier, and the final entrant was Trey Miguel. And so Trey Miguel, he had took out Eric Young and Diener, and he took out Young and Diener with a tope suicida, which was nice. And we had Joe Doering. Joe Doering, he absolutely ran over Trey Miguel with a crossbody. He ran over this guy with a crossbody, man. That was nice. And so yeah, and so at that point, we had everybody that were hitting each other with their signature moves and everything. This match was all over the place, man. And so we had a gore. So somebody brought a table in the ring. They had set it in the corner of the ring. And so we had Rhino. He had hit a gore. He had gore Swann through the table. And so yeah, we had a triple superplex powerbomb on Willie Mack, Eddie Edwards, and Eric Young, EY. And so from Joe Doering. So Joe Doering had hit that move. So he actually took out his own partner, but he was trying to take out Edwards and Mack. But he actually took out his own partner too. And so Doering, they had another table. The table was outside the ring, and Joe Doering, he had put Edwards on the table. And so out of nowhere, man, we had Trey Miguel. He had hit a flying meteor to Joe Doering on top of Eddie Edwards, who was on the table. So the table is broken. So he put both of those guys through the table. And so, yeah, and then Violent by Design, they ganged up on Willie Mack, Rhino, Diener, and Eric Young. He ganged up on Willie Mack. Willie Mack, he was fighting back for a little bit. And, you know, the numbers was too much. It was too much for Willie Mack. And so Eric Young, to end the match, he had a power driver. He had a power driver on Willie Mack to win the match. And so I love that finishing move. The power driver, man. The power driver, I love it. So Eric Young wins the match with the power driver. He pins Willie Mack. And so Violent by Design wins the match, and that was it. And yeah, this is the best match on the show. This is the best match on the show. Was this main event? That Hardcore War was the best match on the show. You know, and Violent by Design, they had to win. You know, Rich Swann, yes, he did lose, but at least he didn't get pinned. You know, they weren't gonna be that stupid and have Rich Swann get pinned. So that's why they went with Willie Mack to get pinned. So you could have went with Edwards or Willie Mack, and so they chose or Trey Miguel, but they chose Willie Mack. Well, then again, you don't want Trey Miguel to get pinned either. So it was Willie Mack that got pinned. And so, yeah, Violent by Design, they had to win this match because you're not going to build up a group. You're not going to build up a faction and have them lose. So that's why they won. And so, yeah. So, yeah, they won. So Violent by Design, they won the match. So what's next? What is next for Violent by Design? Are they going to go after some championships? You would think they'll go after some championships. I would, man. I'll have Eric Young, of course, go for the world title. And, you know, well, I don't think that's the right move because Kenny Omega, he is taking those titles. But just fantasy booking. Have Eric Young go after the world title. You can have him go after the world title. You can have Joe Doering or Rhino. You can have Joe Doering or Rhino go after the tag team titles. Or you can have Joe Doering and Diener go after the world tag team titles. Or you can have Diener go after the X Division Championship. I'll have Diener go after the X Division Championship, and I'll have Rhino and Doering go after the tag team titles. But yeah, so yeah, and then another question is like, who attacked Tommy Dreamer? And so the easy answer would be Violent by Design. It'll be Violent by Design, right? That'll be the easy answer, but I don't think it's Violent by Design. I think it was the mystery person. I think it was Trey Miguel. Trey Miguel is the one that did it. That's what I think. That's what I think. Trey Miguel did it. Because you remember when Sami Callihan, he had came out earlier and said that, you know, well, the one thing that Trey Miguel lacks is passion. And, you know, being passionate is about taking what you want. And, you know, I wanted to be a part of Hardcore Justice, and I've taken that opportunity. I'm here on Hardcore Justice. And Trey Miguel, that's what I'm trying to teach you. I'm trying to teach you about being passionate. And so Trey Miguel, he probably took out Tommy Dreamer. And took his place because he wanted to be on Hardcore Justice. You know, it could be Trey Miguel. But yeah, man. But yeah, that's what I think, man. That's what I think. But yeah, man, that was it with Impact Wrestling, Hardcore Justice, the pay-per-view, and everything. You know, it was the pay-per-view was just a waste of time, man. The main event was the best part of the show. You know, that women's match was good. The contenders match was good. You know, that opening match was good. And yeah, man, it's just the pay-per-view was just a waste of time. It was just a waste of time. It was a waste of time. This pay-per-view should have been postponed. Like, you postpone Rebellion, but you're not gonna postpone this show. But like, dude, you could have built this up as an Impact, for an Impact Weekly show. You could have built this up for an Impact Weekly show. It probably would have been the most watched show on that day, on the Thursday. You could have had the first episode, not the first episode, or maybe like the second episode, or it could have been the first episode on Thursday. You could have had this stuff on the show. Build it up like a pay-per-view. Build up your weekly show like a pay-per-view. And they could have done that, man. They could have done that. They could have had more viewerships by doing that. But yeah, man. But yeah, that was it with the review, man. That was it with Impact Wrestling Hardcore Justice 2021. The review on Knee Ryan Awesome Show. And if you like this video, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you'll be the first ones to know when my next video will come out, because I'm here each and every single week. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. And yeah, man, and follow me on Twitter at Ryan Awesome Show. Comment down below. Tell me how you felt about Impact Wrestling Hardcore Justice 2021. And yeah, man. And yeah. And I'll see you guys on Tuesday. See you guys on Tuesday for NXT. So this is that debut episode of NXT. It's going to be on Tuesday nights. So I'll see you guys on Tuesday. And I'll be watching NXT and I'll be reviewing NXT. And it's going to be up the next day. And so yeah, man. So yeah, that was it. And once again, guys, thank you for the support. Thank you, thank you, and thank you. And if you missed my last week's review of Impact Wrestling, the video is going to be right up here in this corner. And the link to that video is going to be right down below in the description. So make sure you check that out if you missed it. And once again, guys, thank you for the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. Take care, stay safe, and that's that.